Hello everyone, my name is Hunter Kelchner and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the Australia-China trade war. So, just to start a brief overview of what's going on, Beijing has imposed tariffs on more than 200% on imports of Australian wine, and this has led to severe and other ramifications as well. So China has halted Australian coal in the district, and ships have been stranded on the side of Chinese coasts. And China has also blocked and restricted imports on dozens of other products. So the trade relationship between the two countries, um, there is one export from Australia that China really needs. So this is China ore. More than 60% of Chinese iron ore imports come from Australia. And then there's also other issues with Brazil, and this is their second leading import country. So their mines where they find the ore from and dig it up, they are flooded right now. So there's not been a heavy influx of ore coming in from Brazil. And because of China cutting off their Australian import ties with iron ore, this has led to China's imports of coal collapsing. And this rise in coal price has made it very expensive for China to buy imported coal since they cannot get it from Australia or really Brazil, their two main countries they generally would get it from. And you can imagine how expensive that can be economically. And then also, these two countries have been in the past very economically mutually dependent upon each other. China has always been a great source of exports for Australia, and then on the other hand, Australia has always given China iron ore and food when they've needed it. So, what caused this trade war? Just protectionism from China. So China here we see is manipulating international trade to strengthen domestic industries, specifically dealing with wine in this case. Um, so pretty much what's going on here is Australia can make wine, and they can make wine way cheaper than China. So China, what they're doing is using tariffs on Australian wine because they know they cannot produce wine as cheaply, so they impose these tariffs to manipulate the market and the price. And when we look at these two different sides, they are completely different approaches. So we see China uses a mercantilism approach, and Australia uses a liberalism approach. So China is in this trade war because of the personal gain they can get out of it. And as we know, it's more of a realist approach. And we see here that China really doesn't care how Australia feels about it. China is doing it because they think it's going to do better for them economically. And then when we look at the side of Australia, their response to the tariffs have been so far is they haven't imposed a tariff on any of Chinese goods, any at all, which is very interesting to think about because China is Australia's largest trading partner. So 27.4% of Australia's trade comes from China. So if you think about how that affects the economy, Australia has lost millions and millions of dollars because of this trade war and tariffs and not being able to import or export products out of China because everything is pretty much shut down. But they're doing this because they have a liberalism approach and they don't want to play dirty. They're also doing it because they believe that their moral authority would be shredded if they would tariff China. And they also worry of losing global support and, poking the big bear as China in the trade war, as we know how often they can produce cheap products cheaper than most of any countries, as we know in the United States because we get tons of Chinese products here. And they also are not imposing tariffs because the way Australia is looking at it is, well, if we impose a tariff on Chinese goods, the likelihood of them just tariffing more goods and drawing further economic punishment would likely happen. So that is the way Australia is looking at it from their point of view. So to tie things up with international trade, this is just one of the many trade wars we see internationally that are influenced through politics. And when economics serves politics, you're most likely to see aggressive approaches like we see here from the Chinese, and also what we see from the United States when Donald Trump was president. And that is all I have for you. These are my works cited. Thank you guys for watching.